and welcome to Clash of the Dice. I'm James, and that is not Joshua. That is Immortan Joe of the Say Hi Paul clan. And this is not my table, because this is Say Hi Paul.
Hi Paul.
Yes. There's a group of us, we've all been invited to Paul's to play some Age of Sigmar for the weekend, and Paul has graciously allowed me to film some bat reps. So some very quick disclaimers. The house is quite chaotic. There's what, 8 of us here?
8 or 9.
Yeah.
It's only half full.
So this is going to be akin to my solo play 40k videos, in as much as I'm going to do end of turn summaries or end of phase summaries rather than each minute dice roll, because I can't guarantee how PG friendly this is going to be.
There's going to be a lot of people in and out.
Yeah, there's a lot of noises off. So yeah, myself and Joe are going to be playing some Age of Sigmar, and I said 40k. Going to be playing some Age of Sigmar. I'm using my Ironjawz for the first time, using the 3rd ed book. Joe has brought his ghouls, his Flesheater courts.
That's the one.
So with no further ado, thank you very much to my gracious host.
You're very welcome, sir.
And we're going to have some fun.
Hopefully.
Excellent. Right, so for the Ironjawz, and I've got no idea how well you can hear me, because I normally have a microphone attached to this, and I don't today. So it's just the microphone on the camera. So for my Ironjawz, I've got 2 lots of 10 Ardboys. So 2 reinforced units. They're more or less the same. They've both got a banner, they've both got a drummer, they've both got a champion. One unit, which is that one, has got 2 shields in. And this unit has got 1 shield in. And each shield effectively gives me a 6-up ward. I've got 2 units of 3 Gore Grunters. 1 unit armed with pig iron choppers, the other one armed with gore hackers. I've got a unit of brutes with the least meta-friendly combination of the boss thumper and the claw, and we've got a gore hacker in there, and the other guys have just got the standard pig iron choppers. And I've got a weird knob shaman. His spell is the big green hand of Gork, so I can pick a unit up and teleport it across the battlefield. And finally, we've got a war chanter there. He's got the fixing beat, so he can heal D3 wounds if his chant successfully passes. And for my general, I've got a mega boss on Maw Crusher. His warlord trait is, I've written it down, Hulking Brute. So when he completes a charge, I can pick a unit within an inch of him, and he'll do D3 mortal wounds on a 2+. His artifact is the Destroyer, and that means once per battle I can choose one of his weapons to get +3 damage, which will be his big chopper there. So that's usually 2 damage, so once per battle I can make it go up to 5 damage in total, and he gets 9 attacks with that. And his Maw Crusher is a Hulking Brute. No, he's not. He's a Hulking Brute. He's a Meanon, which means his stomp ability does D6 mortal wounds instead of D3. So that's 1500 points, just over, of Ironjawz. And Joe, can you talk us through your army, please?
Absolutely. So we're playing Hollowmourne, so that leads into my battle line units. I have 3 units of horrors, and they'll be my battle line unit. I also have 3 units of 10 crypt ghouls, here, and there's some downstairs as well. They're accompanied by a Cryptghast Courtier, which is a leader ghoul. I also have on his throne over here the Immortan Archregent, who is the general. Because he's Hollowmourne, he has to have the Grave Robber trait, which gives him +1 attack and +1 damage against enemies that have an artifact within 3 inches. And his other ability is when he charges on a 2+, he does D3 mortal wounds. His spell is Deranged Transformation. I get to cast it, and I get to select a unit within, I think, 12 inches, and increase their move characteristic by their wounds. Ooh. So these horrors, they've got the ability to get an extra 4-inch move with that spell.
Nice.
If I roll high, I can affect 3 units.
Nice.
We've got an Abhorrent Ghoul King on Terrorgeist over here as well. His spell is Blood Feast. I cast it on a unit, and it can do D3 mortal wounds. On a 10+, it does D6 mortal wounds. and any wounds that it deals, he gets to heal that amount. Next to him is a Vargulf Courtier. We're using the Varg Gear model from Curse City, and he's accompanying the horrors, hopefully gets stuck in. And that's pretty much all of the Flesheaters, and that's just over 1,500 points. Oh, and I also have the Chalice of Usharan as well, an endless spell, which might make an appearance.
And because I've got a few more points than you do, you get a Triumph, which you've rolled for.
Yes.
And you got...
Inspired, which is once per game, I get +1 to wound with the unit.
Yeah. And something I neglected to say, I am using these Iron Suns painted models as Iron Suns, which means in my opponent's charge phase, I can use a command ability, and if I've got a unit that's within 12 of an enemy unit but more than 3 away, I can make a charge move.
Fantastic. And this guy, one last thing, he has a mount trait as well.
Yeah.
And he is, I can't remember the name of it, but he's super screamy. He can scream at people, so he gets to add 1 to every bit on the chart for that.
Excellent. So you can no doubt hear the cackles and laughter coming from downstairs. Yeah, the mission is loot and plunder. So we've got 6 objectives. We're doing table quarter deployment. So I've got 3 objectives in my... There's one under this pig. In my territory, and Joe has got 3 in his. And at the end of a turn, if I'm controlling one of Joe's objectives, I can loot it and remove it. And how does this work? If I manage to remove all of yours, I get an automatic win,
Yep.
and vice versa. So if you manage to remove all of mine, it's an automatic win. But otherwise, it's who's controlling the most objectives at the end gains a minor victory. Any other result is a draw.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Right. So we shall see you in a little while. We're going to start playing. I should say we rolled off, and I get the first turn, or I had the option of the first turn, and I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Right, so living and learning, there were a few things that I overlooked, but everything worked out okay in the end. In the hero phase, the Mega Boss managed to get himself a command point, and the War Chanter put an ability onto this unit of pigs, no, that unit of pigs, to give them +1 damage. There were no spells cast. In the hero phase, the movement phase, both units of pigs headed over this way, and the Mega Boss jumped from here over to here. I did want him to get into there, but I couldn't clear this big mob of Ard boys. In the charge phase, I activated my once per battle War, which gave me +1 to charge rolls and +1 to rend. And so, oh, do you know what? I was giving these guys 2 damage. They shouldn't have had 2 damage. They should have only had 1 damage each, because those guys got extra damage.
Right.
So you should probably have a ghoul back.
Tell you what, we'll put 1 on,
Yep.
and then we'll roll a d3 and see how many wounds he's taken.
Yep.
Does that sound good?
That sounds fair.
So he's taken 2, so we've got 1 at full health and 1 at half health.
Yep.
Sound good?
Yeah, because it was only this unit of pigs that got extra damage. Because this unit rolled an 11 for their charge, which with their +1 from the Ironjawz War ability, moved a massive 12. So they charged round here, killed that unit of ghoul horrors. This unit charged this unit of ghoul horrors, and yeah, so this unit fought first, took them out. You did, no, at the end of the charge phase, you did
Unleash Hell.
Unleash Hell on the Terrorgeist into these, and inflicted 4 wounds on one of the pigs. So then these guys fought, killed ghouls. Your ghouls fought my guys and inflicted 3 wounds on one of my pigs. They fought back, and as I've just mentioned, I forgot these guys only do 1 damage, not 2 damage. So yes, we've just put some ghoul horrors back, otherwise they would have been wiped out, and that would have been me cheating, which is never good. So yeah, we've amended it to that. That all seems good and fair. So does that now mean they need to take a bravery test?
No, they're bravery 10.
Okay, bravery 10, so yeah, no way they're running away.
They're so absolutely mental, they wouldn't even consider it.
Yeah. Now then, need to check a rule for the scenario. So yeah, I was just checking whether I could... I'm not controlling that objective because you're very much outnumbering me on it. So yeah, I can't link that one. But that is the end of Ironjawz turn 1. So we're now going into Flesheater course turn 1. So we are at the end of the Flesheater course turn 1, and you will notice a distinct lack of very big pigs. So Joe, talk us through what happened, mate.
Okay, so as you manage to wipe out a bunch of the horrors, you'll notice some of them have come back. The Vargulf courtier here mustered some more of his allies, and one returned. The scenario we're playing, the Winds of Change, is it? Healing Winds.
Healing Winds.
Healed the last 2 wounds up on that unit.
Yeah, well, that's something we forgot to say. There's a twist. Is it twist? Ruse? Something like that?
Yep.
Random thingy, which is in our hero phase, we can heal D3 wounds allocated to a unit. So, sorry, carry on.
Yep. So these guys are at full strength. This unit here weren't on the battlefield. The Arch Regent on his throne summoned them from the board edge, and they appeared just behind this ruin, and they managed to make a 10-inch charge, I think I made.
Yes.
And then
They were 9 inches away and you're all at 10.
Yep, and then deep down in the Orc deployment, 3 Flayers have appeared.
Yeah.
They were summoned by the Terrorgeist, the Ghoul King on the Terrorgeist. In the combat phase, the Terrorgeist managed to charge over and in,
Yeah, it's all leapt up and over.
and 2 very nasty attacks with his bite. I rolled 2 6s to hit, and the Terrorgeist does 6 mortal wounds.
Yep.
That was 12, and that was enough to finish the pigs off.
Yeah, well, there was a unit of pigs here, wasn't there? And he
Yes, there
shrieked
was.
at them first and killed them off. And then 12 mortal wounds was enough to take out the wounds that was left on the other unit of pigs. But on the plus side, it means we don't have to roll any leadership or anything like that, any bravery tests, because there's nothing left to take bravery.
Silver linings.
Yeah, right. So now it's going to be interesting to see, do you get the double turn or not? Should we do that roll live? Let's do that roll live. Let's get a dice.
You can go first.
Ooh. Oh, drop dice don't count. According to
You
Winters.
win ties.
I do. I got 2. You got yet another 6. Don't like your dice.
We can swap.
Yeah, because then they'll start rolling low.
Yeah.
So, would you like a double turn?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think I would. So this is the end of Flesheater Court's turn 2. And yeah, go on then, Joe. Tell us.
Okay, so a bunch of magical spells went off. The Arch Regent was buffed up his little pet. When I say little, I mean
This thing.
that thing. Giving him a bunch more attacks on the charge. He flew over and was followed up by his retinue, which didn't quite make it into combat, but didn't quite need it.
Yeah, they got an extra, was it a spell or an ability
Yes,
that gives
they
them...
got 4-inch extra move from the Arch Regent, and then there was a command ability spent on Ravenous Crusaders, which gave them +1 to run, +1 to charge, and run and charge.
Yeah.
Didn't quite get it in
Legged it over this way.
all the way.
Yeah.
The Terrorgeist summoned the Chalice of Usharan, which feeds on the souls of the dead, and
Get rid of that 2 now, because there was far more than 2 wounds on there by the time we got to use it.
yes, he managed to almost completely wipe out the unit of Odd Boys that you see there.
Yeah, there was a unit here. This unit was over there.
Okay.
And at the end of your charge phase, I used my Iron Sun's ability to charge them over here.
Yep. He almost wiped out the first unit. He spent a command point on Feeding Frenzy to attack the second unit, and it was less successful.
Yeah.
The things that are doing all the damage is the Big Bite, and the Big Bite missed, and everything else is negligible.
Yeah, I did spend a command point on these guys for all that defence, which helped a little bit, but not much.
They had a go back at him, did a couple of wounds, but all of the death essence in the chalice
Yeah.
healed him back up to full.
Leached him back up. And also these guys headed over this way, but failed the charge. And then the last remaining Orc here, the boss, yeah, with all the death and destruction going on around him, I don't blame him for running away, because yeah, there was no way he would have passed that bravery, and I didn't have any command points left to insane bravery them. Right, so that is the end of Flesheater Court's turn 2, and we're now going to go into Ironjawz turn 2. So it's the end of the Ironjawz turn 2, and you'll notice there's even less yellow on the table. So, I forgot to say, I don't know if I've mentioned it since, but yeah, in Joe's turn, this guy did his finest hour, so Mega Boss was getting +1 to wound and +1 to save. He got himself a command point in the hero phase, and he hopped over here using the Mighty Destroyer's ability. You'll notice a distinct lack of flayers. The brutes charged in and they then did their shrieking attack on not Overwatch,
Unleash Hell.
Unleash Hell, and one of them died. But then the Mega Boss charged in and squished them with his Maw Crusher. All the various methods of inflicting mortal wounds. He did 8 mortal wounds in total with a stomp and his
Crushing Bulk.
Crushing Bulk. Nope, not Crushing Bulk. What's a Crushing Bulk? Lehman.
Oh, yes, Mount Rate.
No, it was with the Crushing Bulk. Yeah. Anyway, the various combinations of upgrades that he got, he did a total of 8 mortal wounds, which finished off the flares. Over here, we managed to do, was it 7?
Total of 7
wounds on this thing, which then fought back, killed them all off, and then because of this thing, healed itself back up, so it's only taken 1 wound. Yeah. So, these passed their bravery. But yes, I now have 7 models left on the table. Yeah. So we need to roll off for the next turn.
We do.
It'd be really nice if I got it.
2. You win ties. Oh no, I win
No,
ties.
you win ties.
Oh,
If there was a tie. So it's the end of Flesheater Court's turn 3. And yeah, even less yellow. Significantly less yellow. And yeah, go on, talk us through it.
okay,
The
so
short version is
the Terrorgeist jumped over and tried to get on the objective and was countercharged by the Maw Crusher. The ensuing fight, again, I rolled hot on the bite after doing some damage and finished him off with mortal wounds.
yeah, he basically had to suffer 2 rounds of combat. He took 9 wounds from it initially, and then you did your special ability, which
Feeding
is,
Frenzy.
so he can then fight again immediately and finished him off with 12 mortal wounds from his bite.
Bear in mind that is 3 attacks and you need a 6 to hit, and I rolled 2 6s.
Yeah, he's been doing that a lot in this game. And then over here,
The horrors moved up onto the objective
and then charged the weird knob.
managed to finish him off but they suffered a few casualties from the War Chanter.
Yeah, by charging into the weird knob, they left themselves in 3 inches of the War Chanter, who then managed to kill off a couple of the ghouls.
And then over here, the Vargulf Courtier and the horrors moved up to get on this objective here.
Yeah, so you're now controlling all 3 objectives in my territory, and as it's the end of your turn, you can now plunder them all, which will mean you automatically win a major victory in half a game.
Half a game. In more ways than one.
Yeah. This thing is just gross. It's blended through my entire army, including nearly 500 points worth of general.
Yeah.
So yeah, how many points is he? He's only like
He's
350 points himself.
I
isn't
think he's 365. I think he is.
he? Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, it's very obvious that you know your army, and you know it significantly better than I know my army.
yeah. I've played with Flesheater maybe about 8-9 times.
Yeah.
So, but I've read through the book plenty of times.
Yeah. And
It's one of those books that have got very few unit choices, so it's fairly straightforward.
yeah.
It's buff a unit up and fling it forward.
And these guys just did nothing. They've just sat there the entire game.
Yep.
It's literally this guy who's just gone forward and blended everything through various buffs. And as you say, you just layer them on there, and yeah, he literally is a one-man army. I've got a War Chanter, which is 115 points, and 4 out of 5 brutes. So yeah, he's taken out. If this was to carry on, you would table me, no question about it. Yeah, and how many models have you lost?
You killed 6 horrors.
Yeah, and you brought them back.
And then I summoned more in, and I summoned 3 flayers in.
Yeah, so in total I killed 9 models, of which you got most of them back, because, yeah, they're back. I didn't kill these off in the end, did I?
No.
There was one unit I didn't completely kill because we worked out I was doing the damage wrong.
Yes.
So in total I think I killed 6 models. So 8 models.
Maybe 9.
Maybe 9. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it is what it is. As I say, it's very obvious. You know your army well. This is the first time I've used these guys with the current battle tome. I need to read up on stuff.
Yeah. It was a shame that it wasn't able to use them.
Yes.
Which I think is the biggest disappointment in games like this. They're hard to swallow because it's just, as much as you want to try, it can just be unfun.
Yes. And it was odd because things like the healing wind twist, I didn't get to use that once.
No.
Whereas you got the benefit of it a couple of times, plus you can naturally heal stuff anyway, and this stuff, this endless spell, gives you extra runes back if you kill stuff, and yeah, that's done some work for you.
Yeah, that's the very first time I've actually managed to get any use out of that. Every other time I've used it, it's been dispelled.
Yeah.
And I think it's evident why my opponents dispelled it.
Yeah, that's what I should have done. I should have dispelled that. I think I said that to you, didn't I? That I should have dispelled that because I inflicted 7 wounds on him at one point, and he got all bar one of them back, courtesy of this thing. So, yeah. But you live and learn. Yeah, all in all, it was a very fun game if you can have fun getting your backside handed to you on a ghoulish platter. But yeah, it was interesting to see how they work. So I do own this army myself, which I've never used. So yeah, it's going to be interesting using them.
Because we're here all weekend, you'll have to give them a try.
Absolutely, yeah. Mine are in this box here. So yeah, I don't have the guy on this one though. I've brought a Terrorgeist, but I didn't bring the one with the Ghoul King on because it's not painted. But yes, we'll have to team up and have some Flesheater courts against some.
I think we've got some Sylvaneth and other Order armies.
And there's plenty of chaos here. We can choose.
There's lots of chaos here. I'm sure they'll be just as tasty as Auric Flesh.
Yes. So yeah, that was the first game that we played this weekend of Age of Sigmar at Say Hi Pauls. There will be more. I don't know how many more I'll get to film, but yeah, this was all good fun. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the game.
No, thank you.
It's been interesting playing somebody other than Joshua.
Yeah, it makes a change, doesn't it?
Yes. You get used to one opponent's play style. So yeah, it's interesting seeing other things. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. Until next time, please continue to like, comment and subscribe, and God bless.